Hello, welcome to the post-season punch-up. This is 3 games against a random non-qualifier for the Champions Cup from the league that I've just played in. To develop your team a bit more, in theory. In reality, probably to lose some team to death and injury, but it is what it is. Now, I think they seed it, given that I came second. I should be playing people that didn't come as high, so that should theoretically give me an easy time, you'd think. However, my very first opponents here are some lovely, lovely Dark Elves. You may remember from my season run that I lost both my games to Dark Elves and was thoroughly beaten up by one of the Dark Elves teams in one of those games. So, yeah, they are a little bit my bogey team, so not happy about that. What's he got? He's got nothing scary. He's got one guy with a Mighty Blow, which gives him +1 to cause an armour break or an injury roll. He's got one guy with Strength Plus, which is a pain in the bum, because it means I can't do my normal you haven't got Strength 4 and I have set up, which would be a Black Orc either side of my Troll to make myself impenetrable. So I'm having to take some punches on the line, which is annoying. And most annoying of all, he's got this Witch Elf. She's levelled once, and she's got something, whatever the hell that is, no idea. Something a bit mad looking. And she is a pain because she has Frenzy, which means if I get too close to the sideline, she can block me off because Frenzy gives her an extra follow-up hit if she doesn't knock me down the first one. So that makes the sidelines tricky, which means it's hard to defend against elves. You can't do a defence across the pitch because the end guy gets surfed. So, yeah. So this is what I come up with. It's a variation on my standard defence. And he put me into defence first, which probably means he's looking to score fast, is the way I always see it with elves. And then hopefully he reckons he can defend to stop me from scoring back in the first half, and then defend again in the second half to take the ball and win 2-0. It would be his plan. Whereas for me, if he scores fast, that's great, because I will score back in the first half, making it 1-1 at half time, and then I will score in the second, and after that, making it 2-1. With the judicious use of fouling, I've got a dirty player on the pitch and a guy off the pitch. So that is the plan. And best thing of all, the kickoff event is a blitz, which means effectively I get a free turn. That's why it's highlighted as it is. These 3 guys can't move, but everybody else on my turn can move, and I can perform a blitz action. Happy days. So here's me getting on with it. It didn't really have a good blitz target. I would have liked to have punched this guy up the side here, but I think it's a bit too far to get around. I'd love to have pinched her, but she's again a bit too far to get around. So I figured I'd step into the line and try and deny him hits and by punching a guy out of the line, i.e. his Mighty Blow guy, so he doesn't get a free block with his Mighty Blow guy. And then I would just... I don't know quite what I'm doing up there. I kind of went into pressure with the ball a bit here, and it was probably a mistake. This is probably a bit of an overcommit from me, because it relies on him not picking up the ball on a 2+ for these players to not be completely out of position. And it seemed like a great idea at the time, but I don't think it was a great idea. Because look, no hassle. He's got the ball. He's moved over here. Alright, he's failed a GFI, but, you know, such is life. He'll re-roll that. And he'll hand the ball off. And she will go sprinting down the side. And I've got one of my fastest and most valuable players way off to the left. Not to mention a Black Orc way off to the left. And all my team pinned down the line. So, not ideal. That was kind of a dumb move as it turned out. Because it was so easy for him to move the ball way over the side. And that push was really significant. If he hadn't managed to get me away there, I could have potentially got in to attack the ball. And that just lets him do this. So I really haven't got very little defence now. Which, you know, means that rather than scoring in 2 turns, which if I had a lot of defence, he'd be forced to, he might be able to stall it out for 3, 4, 5, 6 turns, which is the worst of results for me. So I've got far too many guys pinned down. And that failure of dodge at the end of the turn with his Strength 4 is completely irrelevant, really. So I'm going to try and recover back to a position where I can defend this without letting him run around the side. So this is what I try and do. That's trying to cause some damage with my Mighty Blow. Nowhere near. That's greedy. If I'd hit with the Black Orc, I would have freed him up. But I was being greedy to try and, again, cause damage. Didn't pay off. Better off hitting with the Black Orc to free him to come all the way back to the middle, which would have been a much better position for him. That's just a push. The Troll happily does activate, does get into there. It's not a terrible spot for him. I send this guy across to make the reverse difficult for him, to force him down this side, but I haven't got many players at all, like just this tiny handful, to try and contain most of his team coming down this side, so it's tricky. And that push really doesn't help. If that had been a knockdown, An elf on the floor's got less movement. He'll still dodge out, but he's got less movement. So, I kind of don't do that well at getting a lot of action to really lock him in over here. This is very, very, very poor at forcing him to score quick. And then, of course, rolling a skull's just classic. Let's do that. Why don't we? Roll the 2 dice, get a skull. So despite the blitz, I've gained nothing. No man advantage, nothing, no positional advantage. In fact, my position's probably worse than it would have been had it not been a blitz. And he's going to, punch this guy out of the way, I would imagine, and get well down the field with an excellent position chance to score turn 3. Which suits me to an extent, but he could also got an excellent position to stall and not score turn 3, depending on how these dodges out of all these players go. Because effectively at this point, and that really isn't helpful either. So my man advantage that would allow me to foul with impunity is now gone. So if I foul during the rest of the first half and I get sent off, I'm down a player for the entire second half, which would be terrible. So that is terrible. And all these dodges are working well. So now he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players, and I've got barely any defence. This dodge failing helps. But yeah, I'm still not in great shape to defend this. He's got most of the team back behind my lines and could stall for 3 or 4 turns here. So I kind of do the best I can under the circumstances. GFI, let's get the guard in against these guys. A good plan. I want to take down a dodge guy with a tackle guy if I can. Does get him. Follow up just to put a little modicum of pressure on him. It was the best I could do. This time I do free up the guy on the ground, but he's going nowhere. Don't know why I didn't move him then. Yeah, I should have moved him before I made that hit. So that this is then a 2-dicer. I think I hadn't quite decided what I was doing with him. And this guy, I wanted to get him through maybe. So if this troll knocks him down, I can get this Black Orc through. Which he does. Shouldn't follow with that Black Orc. So I've got a removal, which is somewhat helpful. Forces him, again, to think about being down a few players. And this guy can then get in at least somewhere. And I use him to just kind of block off these guys from getting in. But, I've basically got 3 guys against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 guys against 6. I'd fancy I'd stall out all day long here. All day long. Managed a little cheeky chain push. Just gets me away from a hit. But at this point, for whatever reason, he was in chat kind of saying maybe I should have stalled. Well, yes, you should, buddy. If you had any interest in life, you should have stalled. So a massive error by him, which makes up for my overcommit on the left, helps me out a little bit, and gives me a reasonable chance to score. I think I've got, what, 6 turns? 6 turns to score? 5 turns? Some number of turns. But I'm a man down, so the fouling option is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 turns. So, setting up with an aggressive defensive setup. I managed to pause the game. So this is my best attempt. Now, unfortunately, all my blitzers kind of need to do useful stuff, so I'm having to carry on a slow guy. Now, he needs the star player points to level up to get block, but... And he's got kick, but thankfully it's a touchback. I thought about putting on a Black Orc, and arguably maybe I should, but again, I thought I probably need them for fighting. If it was the second half and I was even, I would be doing that, but it just felt a bit too early. So it's against elves. They can dodge in all kinds of crazy places, so build a cage first, and I'm just trying to consolidate a nice, safe position. I quite like all of this, apart from I wish these guys had been set up around the other way, but it was done for safety reasons, not punching reasons. So now if I take the hits with block first, I don't have subsequent blocks with these guys. But I do take the hits with block because it's better to go with block, safer. And arguably I should move the Black Orcs out at this point. Oh, well, no, I don't hate that. If the troll takes him down and can follow, then I can move some Black Orcs forward. And arguably they should have been next to him for the assist, but it doesn't make a huge amount of difference. I don't hate the position at the moment. I don't hate it, although I've obviously hung my poor old piling on dude out to be punched on the side, so he's an obvious target. He wants to hit him with his mighty blow dude, very much so. And he'll elf screen the defence, i.e. put banks of 2, space 2 apart so I can't get through. Which is, you know, it's a very basic and very easy defence that elves do against slow, bashy teams like me. But I think I've got 6 turns, I can get upfield. Fouling, like I say, is going to be a problem, but I can do it, but I don't really want to do it. Because if I get sent off, like I say, I'm a man down second half, and again, it's hard then to progress upfield. So it depends on how the attrition goes. If I get men up, I might start doing it. So it's very much down to how much dice attrition I do to him with my single punch per turn. And how much he does to me with his single punch per turn. Oh, I think... Yeah, so I'm trying to make progress upfield here. Again, no damage. And then I make my classic goof. I'm going to just pause it there. For a second, I didn't see this guy here. So I thought, well, the troll, if I can get him over here, is then pinning down these 2 guys, which is brilliant. But the movement from this square to this square is a dodge. It's out of somebody's tackle zone into 2 other tackle zones with an agility 1 player. That's a 6+. Absolute stupidity. So suddenly, I've lost a turn of forward movement. The ball is still back in my own half. I've lost the ability to move these guys to better positions. I've lost the ability to dodge him out. I mean, yes, it's relatively safe given the way things are positioned. He can get these 2 guys in to do a 1 dice hit on the ball here, but he hasn't really got a coverage because he's going to get through here. So it's not necessarily a brilliant, not the worst thing in the world, but, you know, just a mistake. Had I gone here with him and moved a Black Orc up to here, I'd have had a very nice front line for potentially, if he doesn't dodge out, hitting him next time. This guy I could lock down with Black Orcs. You know, he's kind of stuck. You know, I was thinking maybe I would foul him. I mean, he's only a lineman, but I might have to foul him just to allow me to get that positional forward move, because otherwise he's got an instant blitz on the ball on 1 dice, which is a bit good. But yeah, so not great. Not a great play at all there, and stupidity. So I put myself under more pressure than I needed to here. And obviously now this guy at the front is going to get punched. So annoying. Stupidly, in my opinion, he blitzes him rather than just punching him with an assist. And luckily I don't take any pain for it. So in a way, you know, his bad play. Now he kind of half-heartedly comes in a bit on the left here. But that's nothing. I mean, that's just, this guy's going to get an assist and punch him. This guy's going to pin this guy down. You know, eventually I'll get round to dodging him out. It cost me a turn, really. And was frustrating because it should have been a much better position than it was. And he fails to make mistakes here, unfortunately. He nearly does them. But it's a little bit thin here. So, this is what I see. Okay, stand the troll up and then we'll stop there. Because this guy's touching this guy, that is a hit I can do on this guy to clear him out of the way, and then I can blitz this guy, and potentially I can move to a cage up here. Which, you know, would be glorious. And it can just about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just about maybe be done with some GFIs. More realistically, if I can punch this guy and knock him down and maybe foul him, then maybe I can kind of cage up somewhere here. I don't know. It felt like there was an opportunity here if I could just get a knockdown and I knock down the blitz. Although I am a little bit... So, move the dirty player into yeah, just a push. Into a subsequent hit, but still just a push. So now all of that's probably not going to happen. Into another push, which is shit. So those 2 pushes pretty much kill it. I mean, I have to blitz with this Black Orc to try and get him out of the way for next turn. And this is probably a mistake here. I followed, leaving him completely isolated and punchable. Already next to Mighty Blow, but I gets another couple of assists in at the front, and that's a free Mighty Blow hit on the Black Orc. So dumb. Dumb play. It's a little bit weak here because they've got a guy touching the troll, but the troll's strength 5, so not a problem. And I have to kind of fiddle about at the back a little bit. And again, only a push. So 3 hits, 3 pushes this turn. Frustrating. Try the dodge away. That fails. Not worth re-rolling it. Into a stun to be out for the next turn anyway. So that's pretty much a very, very, very poor turn to follow up from a massive mistake of a poor turn, leaving me with only 3 turns to score. And it's still a very, very, very long way to the end zone. So this is not going to be easy. Not at all. In these games, the results doesn't matter, but scoring gets star player points, so I want to score. So, you know, through my own ineptitude, I am going to struggle to score now, which is annoying. Luckily, he's wasting players trying to get some kind of a hit in on the troll, which I like. Just it's a successful hit, then leaves me actually quite hemmed in here because he gets quite a lot of that. This is a strength 4 player, so I can't just punch him with my Black Orc. I need an assist to do that. And he's also got another guy in next to the ball who needs to be blitzed out of the way, so that's quite tricky to clear the ball now. Troll stands up, that gives me at least an assist immediately here, but he's got an assist back there, so I need to do some shite. Blitzing over here, already planning obviously a dodge out or a handoff. Given I'm not blitzing to clear the ball. Didn't really do a lot. Bring him in there, gives me the assist. Both down, George. At least that works. Maybe should have followed that. At least that hit works. And it's a stun, which helps a little bit. Just the numbers of players game. Again, 0 progress in that turn. It's who have I got who can score? You know, it's terrible. And then I try this. Oh no, punch first, just a push. Do I follow it? No. Again, kind of pointless following elves, just dodge out too far, and then fail the handoff and go straight back to this guy. And the reason I handed him off is because he can get punched. So yeah, really, really bad. Looking like there's no chance of scoring. But you know, this is a little bit fortuitous. He doesn't knock over the troll, which means that guard's still active. And he skulls out. So that uses up a reroll of his, which is not terrible. It doesn't really matter this late in the turn. Knocks him over, and it's all about where the ball goes now. And that's a great ball position for him. But thank the Lord he fails to pick it up. So that was really another score to him, except he failed to pick up. Because he couldn't re-roll it, because he'd used a re-roll of something else. So I start the turn in a pretty horrendous situation. Because I've got to get a guy up to get the ball in 2 turns. And my nearest fast guy is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can just get there. So can this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these two can both score without GFIs. None of these guys can. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 2 GFIs from these 3 Black Orcs. And so it's these 2 are my scoring threats. And I've got to clear this tackles out of the ball, this guy out of the way in order to give me a part of the ball, and probably this guy out of the way as well, while not letting him be in a position where he's only got 1 turn and he hasn't got a scoring threat. This guy cannot score from his position. So by not putting a scoring threat forward first, or down here, and then going for the pickup, he definitely can't score. So anything I risk now, at least I'm not going to be 2-0 down. So here's what I do. Just get rid of that guy. I promoted him 1 square, but I don't think that matters. Maybe it does matter. It's 8. 1. Move him 6. 1. Yeah. So really, he's out of the game. He's out of the game. So I definitely make a mistake later. The troll activates and works. That helps. Lets me clear this guy. Push is just about good enough. This has to work. It does. So now, I need to get rid of her with a blitz. And ideally, I need her off the pitch. And when you think about my scoring threats I was talking about without GFIs, one's already actioned, which leaves this guy. So I don't really want to be using this guy to do the blitz. But I can use this guy. 3 to stand up, 4, 5, 6, GFI, 2 GFIs, and he's my best chance of getting off the pitch. She does not have dodge. So, you know, the fact that I don't have tackle doesn't matter. So that is probably my best bet. Now, I could have used this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But really I need to be getting more guys forward and he can go further forward. So I, at this point, make the choice. I'm going to blitz with the piling on guy. Because also I want to kill this witch. And he's my best chance to kill her. I really want her dead. Because if she's off the pitch, I can change my setup. Reroll. Use my last reroll. But it works. She is off the pitch. Injured. And better still, she's lost a point of agility. Ha ha ha. And his apothecary fails. Because he gets a worse skill, possibly dead. A worse result. So now, it's all on. So given it's all on, I use one Black Orc to tie down these two guys. And I think about where I can put this Black Orc. And I don't really want to get punched by Mighty Blow. So maybe I do a bad thing with him. And I definitely do a bad thing with the Dirty Player. Covering the ball is a better place for him. This guy, for whatever reason, I go back here. For some reason, I think maybe I thought this guy might be able to get on the action or something, and it's a long... He can't really. So that's a waste of a guy who could have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't go in there. But with the GFI at the end, he could have gone here. You know, that was a mistake. Because he's relatively speedy. And I make a horrendous clock up here. Because he was my scoring threat. And really, I want to end this turn with 2 scoring threats. And I go back to cover the back of the ball against this guy coming in to blitz it. And this guy. Without thinking about the scoring threats. So it's taken him all his movement to get here. And he could have got to here. And maybe been doing some GFIs forward. And I realise I've cocked that up. Because this guy's going to try and pick up the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To then hand off to him. And if he can GFI, he can get into in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This guy needs to pick up and make 1 GFI to be a scoring threat. This guy just had to make 1 GFI. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No. On this line is all you need. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pick up and a GFI. And this guy here. And with 2 scoring threats on these lines here, it's much... And he's got only 1 blitz. I'm in a much better position. Especially because this guy's got guard and he could potentially be in the middle and giving him more strength. So that was a dumb mess up. So then I have to do the GFI. So I do 2 GFIs that otherwise I didn't need to do. But get away with it with no rerolls. I managed to fail the pickup. But at least it finishes ahead of me so I can go forward to get it. So effectively I have got now 1 scoring threat. Because this guy can go 1, 2, 3, 4, GFI, GFI. Can't score. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, GFI. 2 GFIs to score. This guy 1, 2. He can't do it because he's the same speed as him. So I've literally got 1 scoring threat. So he has to blitz that guy and knock him down. Or even just push him. And that's all it takes to stop me from scoring. And he's got a really easy chance to do it. And he can do it with Mighty Blow. So here he goes. He gets the push he needs. And he re-rolls it. He gets the push he needs to stop me scoring. And he re-rolls it. Into a both down, which doesn't move me at all. So technically, I can still score. What an idiot. So I've made some huge mistakes. He's made some huge mistakes. Goes for a 1 over here just to push. Frees up that guy. To do nothing very much. It's not tackle to own the ball. So, as this turn starts, I technically can score. I can technically score. The only guy I can score is this guy. And he's going to have to do a dodge because I can't clear both the guys off him. So he's going to do a 3+ dodge and 2 2+. And somebody has to get the ball to him. He can't go and pick it up himself because that would be lateral movement. So this guy potentially has to pick the ball up and in some way give it to him. Or somebody has to pick the ball up and in some way give it to him. And I can score. So it's going to be a lot of dices. And let's see how I do. Oh, I've gone back too far. This is my turn. Start out. Knock down his guy here. Pile on, because any chance to take him off the pitch is good, and it costs me nothing at this point. It doesn't work. This guy's got to get out of the way. Push is fine. Keep him here for the assist here. Technically didn't need to make that hit, but did. Because I didn't expect it to work at this point, so I'm just doing... I'm trying to get the troll forward to give me the assist up here. As I do, I can do it with this guy. But I needed to use a guard there, which means somebody else has to pick the ball up. So this is the risky move. It's the blitz, knock him down into the dodge. He's in the end zone, but he hasn't got the ball. If the troll had gone in, I could have used the guard for that. So. At least I get the extra hit from this back here. And I take all these random unimportant hits because the odds of me achieving what I want to achieve is pretty low. I'm going to do a 3+ pick-up and then a pass, which is a... Well, it's a 4-up, 3-up. Not even a problem. So at this point, this is glorious. Bork has got the dream TD of a Kaz on the way to the line. I think it was a Kaz, wasn't it? No. He's blitzed on the way to the line. The witch is out, so I can now move with impunity to the edges. Alright, that guy's out, but I start with 11 players. I can now foul this turn, which will help my movement upfield. And everything is golden. This is a great opportunity for me to win this game. I make a mistake. I forget his witch is off, and I don't cover the sidelines. I could have pushed these guys out 1 square more, because they can't be pushed off because he hasn't got friends anymore. I certainly don't overcommit to using too many players to get punches, so that's good. But I just don't move my guys out. And then he gets a blitz, which basically means he gets a free bonus turn, apart from the 3 guys in my tackle zones. Which, for me, it was okay. For elves, it is golden. Because with this strength 4 guy, he can punch this guy down with just 1 assist, which he does. Pin this guy down with the strength 4. And he also gets a knockout, which is really frustrating. So for the whole half now, I'm not going to have that player. So I'm already a man down. So fouling is already probably a crazy option. And he can get everybody through. GFI fails, but... At this point, the guy's whining about his bad luck for not being able to get to roll 2 pluses. He's whining about his bad luck when he's got a blitz that essentially means that because of where the ball is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I can't even reach the ball. I can't even get guys back to cover the ball. I am completely shafted. He's going to be scoring next turn, chances are, or the turn after. I am screwed by that kickoff event. And it's gone even further away. So now I can get 2 GFIs to even get to the ball. So all I can start doing is rolling a crazy amount of dice to get lucky. And he knocks down this guy, leaving a massive hole in my defences here. Because I have to move that guy away to do something. To pin down the strength 4 guy. So now I have to do this risky block to free up this guy. So he can come back to at least put pressure on for next turn. Or give me some assists next turn. This guy comes back. So again, I've got some kind of chance of not stopping next turn. I have to do a dodge with the tackle guy to come back to blitz this guy. So I've used a reroll and then I roll double skulls. And I get knocked out. So he's whining about his bad luck because he rolled a 1 and I rolled double 1, dodge failure, the blitz happened in the first place. I just, no. Now, you know, I should have probably set up with more guys back because he chooses where he puts the ball pretty much. He's got kick. So, yes, I made mistakes. But, grr. The odds on a blitz, I think you have to roll a 10 on the dice. So 10 on 2d6. It's exactly 10 you have to roll. So it's a double 5 or 4 and 6 or 4 and 6. So 3 chances out of 36. Yeah. And he's unlucky for rolling a 1 on a d6. Yeah. Having already injured one of my armour 9 players when I've injured only one of his, and I've got all the mighty blow and all the piling on and stuff. So yeah. I'm getting comprehensively diced. And there we go, score. I'm getting comprehensively diced, and now the best I can do, really, the best I can do, is to drive downfield and make it 2-all. Which, again, the score doesn't matter, but that's my best chance to get a touchdown, and touchdowns are important. But also, I got 2 knocked out players from that little result there. My blitz, did it knock out any of his players? Did it buggery? His blitz knocked out 2 of my players, and only one of them comes back. It's just a joke. So pretty hard done by here, and you know, such is life. So I do a slightly better setup this time. For a start, I'm pushing these guys into subsequent hits if I want them. I'm allowing myself to free people. You know, this feels like a better setup. More players are further back. So he does exactly the same kick, essentially. And gets the blitz again. So the kick is, again, pretty far away from my guy. And I'm in a situation now where he can do exactly the same move. And again, I haven't moved the guys out to cover a little bit further on the sides. But, you know, this guy can counter my Black Orcs. But this guy only uses one guy, so maybe this is the worst setup. I don't know. So, you know, smash, gets him out of the way, follows up, pins down this Black Orc, great. Runs all his men through. You know, fundamentally, it's just repeat. And it's like, you know, oh yeah, so he's failed a dodge. He's failed, and he's whining in chat. He's whining in chat how, oh, I've rolled 2 1s. After rolling 2 blitzes and me being men down. Honestly. It's so unfair. Nuffle hates me. Oh, girl. Anyway, so at least I've got these 2 free players, so I can come back and cover. So I got it slightly better this time. And the ball perhaps went to a slightly better place, i.e. at the back where I can go and cover it. I can do this safer blocks. It's into a follow-up. That was a blitz. Get him to come around here and get this one. Because, you know, my only chance now is some... And I managed to cover a bit of a line off, which is not bad. Can't hit with a troll, it's too risky. At least this surely should be a removal. Oh, God, no, of course it's not. I've got this guy, riskier. But if it gets him out, I can follow up. And that's, you know, makes this position way safer. The last block I can truly risk. The troll block I can probably risk if I get the ball. But I don't take it because it just lets all these players flood through. So I'm not in a terrible position to score, but I'm right at the back and I've got to get out all the way at the far end. And he can still just run all these elves around. Fairly easily run all these elves around and put me under pressure again next turn. If he just tags all my men, I can't build the cage with only 2. So I've got to get the ball all the way forward to make contact with these guys, which is 2 turns of movement. And then he stuns my Black Orc. And surely that was a 1 dice. Might have been a 2 dice. Obviously, he's whining in chat about, oh, if I rolled another 1, it's not fair. I mean, for God's sake. The 1s, I'd probably make a mistake here. That was the maximum movement I could do without a GFI, and that's fine, because next time I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe make a GFI next turn and have some kind of safety. But because of these guys over the left here, arguably I should have made a GFI just to get out of range of them. Because this guy can go 7, and this guy's down. He can go 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. GFI, GFI. He can tag the ball. Just 1 square. It was probably the time to do a GFI. Regardless. I didn't. And I also covered more to the right because of this guy who can dodge away. I mean, it's less problem because he's a loner and he can't re-roll it, but, you know, so it's... And then all of these blocks just have to work. You know, it's kind of like my only chance is to get some removals. I get a KO, which is great. It's not an injury, but, you know, a removal helps my chance of getting the 3-star player points. That one works, which is helpful. These are 1ers now. And that frees this guy up. And I figured I was trying to cover so they couldn't get through, so that might have been a mistake. And then I skull this one. Double skull it. So he rolled 2 1s, I rolled 2 1s. I'm not whining in chat. But that just means that this is now wide open, so you can just run players in. So maybe I shouldn't have made that hit. But it was just a 2 dice to get me out of the way anyway. So at least if he was away, he'd have to use his blitz on it and then couldn't blitz the ball. So, you know. It was literally a 1 in 36. Well, no, I wrestled 1 in 89 we've done it. So sure enough, he gets these players in, he punches people. You know, I've got a lot of players on the floor. Another knockout. I mean, this is the guy that's whining about how unlucky he is. I've got armor 9. He's not got any kill skills on the guys that are knocking me out. It's just annoying. He's armor 8 and I've been using Mighty Blow. I'm whining now. Oh, I've rolled a 1, I've rolled a 1, it's so unfair. And he gets a knockdown. He gets, sorry, yeah, by getting the stun, that makes it really hard now for me to clear this ball. So pretty much it's dodge central. I mean, yeah, I can blitz him off here, but how the hell do I make anything? Oh, I've rolled a 1, I've rolled a 1. Seriously. And that was the only thing that gave me half a chance of not immediately losing the ball, was him going down. And now it's just Shitsville, Tennessee, as it has been for turns and turns. Oh, I fail my dodge with the 1. Don't see me crying about rolling a 1. But then I get up here. So now I've got half a cage. Get this guy into the corner. A full cage. If I can blitz this guy free, I have the ability to build a cage. Now, it's a based cage. It's a cage with a weak cage corner of only a strength 3 guy. But it is a cage. That dodge, if it had worked, would have let me show up this corner. Didn't work. Do I whine about the dice? No. Dice happen. But I was quite annoyed by this guy at this point. I think I typed in chat, yeah, I'll stop listening to you believing your crying tales of your dice being terrible when you roll the second blitz. The guy's 2-1 up. His players aren't dying, and he's complaining about his dice. Some people were not made to be good Blood Bowl players. People to play against. It's just no fun when they're comprehensively dicing you and they're complaining about their dice. So, you know, pretty much here, I've got no rerolls. I need everything to work, and I've got to get a blitz and a block and all sorts of things to clear the ball even, and even then I'll still be under a pressured cage. So it's pretty shit. Maybe should have followed this one. But I felt I'd be leaving this side weak if I did. So this ball block has to work. It doesn't. And that's it. There's pretty much nothing I can do to stop him from getting the ball. You know, it's his turn. He's got high agility players. It's just easy to clear with that 1 hit. Getting rid of the troll is hard. It's doable, but it's you know, it's got a 3. Get rid of this guy. Get rid of that guy. He could potentially clear the troll, but he doesn't bother. And he's kind of away, and the only way I've got of stopping him is that tackle guy, really, and it's just not going to happen. Yep, he's still crying because he's failed a dodge. In the chat, cry, 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 I failed a dodge. It's so unfair. The dice hate me. You're about to be 3-1 up, you dickhead. And again, every time, you know, I knock him off the pitch, he's not, let's say a loner, but, you know, I'm not getting casualties. So, you know, there's a chance here. A vague, pathetic chance of getting tackle on the ball, apart from I roll double skulls. Do I whine about it? No. That's Blood Bowl. And then I had this lovely power hit on this guy, which would have been nice too. But, you know, instead, he runs off. Doesn't score. Does a bit of running around. Perhaps that's a mistake. Perhaps he should have scored, but then I'm going to get 3 more hits in him on the line of scrimmage. So, and he's got hits on me here, so probably not a mistake, because he can probably dodge everybody away anyway. And he's got, you know, lots of free hits here. So. That dodge worked, the one that saved him from getting fucking piled on. Bastard. And now he's actually got enough cover that I just physically can't get a hit on him. He even dodges away from the troll. Dodges that he didn't need to do. GFI he didn't even need to do, really. Just So what I've really got now is just some attrition hits, just to try and get some star player points. He's going to stall it out to the end. He's not going to let me get the line of scrimmage hits on him. So let's try and get a position where I can get attrition hits on him. Is what I figured. Would have re-rolled that had I had a re-roll. I'm just working into a position where I'm going to get attrition hits next turn. Is the theory. Troll gets in on this guy. Glorious. Use your strength 4 now, shit brains. And I dodge out just so we can't get the 1 dice on me and more chance for attritions. So I've set up some good attrition hits here, which sort of force him to score. Because he doesn't want to get that many players punched with Mighty Blow. And, you know, he's won the game, so it's completely irrelevant. He's just going to take some line of scrimmage hits on some shitters instead. Finally, my knockouts come back, which will help me get a little bit more attrition. But now, how he sets up here is ludicrously stupid because he's allowing me the 3 hits in the line of scrimmage plus a blitz hit. He's allowing me to do that. He could have put these guys in the back line and I could literally not have got to reach him. And he's allowing me to do that. So, terrible play by him. Chance to catch the ball. Chance of getting a star player point on this guy by lobbing a pass. Butterfingers doesn't catch it. Now he's on the sidelines. Life's just even shitter. Anyway, so here we go. All these lovely chances for attrition hits with Mighty Blow. That one had piling on too. Here's one. That's with Mighty Blow. Broke armour. No injury. Great. This one hasn't got Mighty Blow. Nothing. This one has Mighty Blow. Nothing. Probably should have followed that. Make it a 3 dice. Not sure I could. This one with Mighty Blow. Hurrah! And it's a death. My God, I was happy about that. And he's already used Zappo, so that's death. So he's got a perm injury and a death. Good. Good, I say, for being such a bad sport and crying about your dice when you're winning by a country mile and the dice are completely favouring you. Now, I should be doing a massive gang foul here, but if I can pick the ball up and pass it off to this guy. But I don't. So a star player point that I could have had, that didn't. Not the end of the world. So, you know, a loss, which is frustrating. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, yeah, he's got a hit back on me now, but might as well watch that. If he's got any sense, he'll be doing a Mighty Blow hit. Nope. Massive gang foul? No. I guess if I gang fouled him on turn 16, he might have done the thing. So it wasn't that great in terms of a result, but the MVP, the 5 3-star player points, went to a Black Orc, which levelled him. Fantastic. Finally, after 10 games, a levelled Black Orc. Bork got 5. 2 on a... These are all blitzers. I think Darfu got the pass. So that's all blitzer star player points. So not terrible. And left the team in a pretty good position. Let's look at the team roster. So what did I get? This guy levelled, took block. It's 3. You know, this guy's only 1 away. I mean, he's only going to get that from a Kaz, but it's risky taking Kaz with them. But I'll do it more in these kind of games because the results don't matter. This guy hasn't got off the mark yet, but you know, this guy has got within 4. He got quite a lot, 5 points that game. I guess he chopped the pass and chopped a TD and a Kaz. Maybe he got the TD and the Kaz. So, you know, he's pretty close for level. Not that it matters that much him getting his next level. I mean, it would likely be piling on or maybe guard. Probably piling on to really kill those guys. He's my real killer. Maybe piling on was a mistake with this guy. Maybe he should have had guard. But, yeah, they'll get... I figured guard would turn up. You know, it is what it is. I had guard on the trial, so it's not that critical. Got 1 guard guy, and you know these can be real accelerators. Mighty Blow piling on can be real accelerators because if you pile on, i.e. the guy's already on the ground, you have failed to injure him. You can then basically elbow him in the face as you land on him and get a chance to break his armor again. That really means the chance of getting him off the field and injured is quite a bit increased. So it's definitely the way to go if you want to get injury star player points, and that is how Orcs get their star player points. So all in all, you know, it was a loss, but who cares? I care, obviously, but it was a great development result. Could have been a better development result had those 2 blitzes not happened. I'd have scored on another guy, so I'd have had, you know, a lineman or possibly a Black Orc. If it had gone well, could have handed off to a Black Orc to get 3-star player points and levelled, you know, Hagov maybe. But you know, it is what it is. Dice are dice, and very happy with that one. So thanks for watching.